God damn it, I'm out of soap.
Well, what the hell are you doing here? You caught me.
Just kidding. I don't take showers, I take W's. And baths. Today's topic is cheaters, and I didn't know how to introduce it. As someone who's never cheated in a sport or on anyone, I feel the urge to say, we kind of bury the lead with these guys, don't we? No one talks about the Bounty Gate Saints. No one talks about the Deflatriots. In fact, we would rather talk about made-up conspiracies that we can't prove right or wrong than federally proven inaccuracies in how the game is played. I made this wheel here, so let me, if you don't mind.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
Gaylord Perry. So I had to re-look this up after doing some research. This dude just threw like some spitballs, like he would like hawk Tua on the ball and then just and apparently that was more difficult to hit. I'm probably getting that wrong. But Gaylord Perry, one of baseball's greatest cheaters, you know, besides the guys that were juicing up TRT. All right, let's do it again. Bang. Bounty Gate Saints. Oh, okay, Bounty Gate Saints. No one likes to talk about this because the Saints are kind of garbage.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
But listen, the Saints would literally, in case you missed it, pay their defensive players, Greg Williams and Sean Payton, who, by the way, both are still around the football scene, so, you know, yay us. They would pay people to injure the opposing team. Not exactly a great look. They paid the price of a first-round draft pick. And then no one talks about it ever again. And Sean Payton is still working in this league. Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules? Oh boy. Bang, Medina Spirit. Horses can cheat too, right? Yeah, so this horse was juiced to the gills. He was, Medina Spirit was a horse in the Kentucky Derby that was, you know, illegally juiced. And like, I don't know why the horse would do that. And a horse walks into a GNC and says, give me some steroids. I gotta win the Kentucky Derby. And that's what happened with Medina Spirit. So, done deal. What a ridiculous line. Oh my God. The Stickum Raiders. No one considers this cheating besides me, but I will pound the table and say that this... You can't just put glue on your hands, man. It made the ball all gummy. If you don't know, the 1970s and I think 80s a little bit, Raiders, when they played in Los Angeles, which was like 3 cities ago, when they played in Los Angeles, they would put literal glue, like not Elmer's, but like tackier stuff on their hands. Bolitnikov was a big guy on this.
Yes, bastard!
And people say Bolitnikov had awesome hands. Yeah, I would be too if I had wet cement on my hands. No disrespect to Freddie, he's a great card in Madden, but you can't just put glue on your hands, all right? I'm gonna call that cheating. I'm gonna call that cheating. No one talks about it, because no one talks about cheaters. Why? We hate on the Chiefs, but I'm sweating. Everybody hates on the Chiefs, but no one talks about literal cheaters. What about the Deflatriots? Dude, they literally, like, unpumped balls. I know they beat the Colts by a lot, but like, you can't just ignore that and then double down and say the Chiefs are a worse dynasty than the Patriots. The Chiefs, there was suspicions. The Patriots were in federal court. This isn't the same thing, and the Patriots got caught prior to that with Spygate, which is when they filmed walkthroughs, which like really confuses me. Because on the one hand, it's like, really? No one could like take out a phone and just record it at a practice? Like, I feel like that would be the easiest way to cheat ever. How did they get caught? Anyways, what else is there? Eopolis of Thessaly. Yeah, so cheating dates back to BC times when people would pay off refs and cheat in races in the Olympics, you know, before the Olympics were on NBC. This dude paid off 3 of his opponents to take a dive so he could win.
Take a dive, Fives. I've got a plan.
This guy is, you know, a loser, but again, he's remembered. He's remembered. I mean, we're talking about him thousands of years after the fact as the first cheater in sports. That's legacy. That's legacy points. Shoot, man, are we going to be talking about LeBron in 2,000 years? Most definitely. The Astros also suck. Please, I know baseball fan. I'm not a baseball guy, all right? If you're a baseball fan that's still mad about the Astros, just know I totally respect it.
Leave or fight? What do you want to do? Which one do you want?
I wanted to do more cheating stories, you know, to not deprive you, the viewer, of learning something real. The first one I want to talk about, I should say, is Rosie Ruiz. If you know who I'm talking about, you're a real deep cut sports fan. In the 1980s, Rosie Ruiz jumped the New York City Marathon by hopping on a subway and cut to the end and took 11th. She then used that time to go to the Boston Marathon that year and then qualified and then won with the fastest time for a woman in history. Hold on! She cheated on that one too. She snuck into the bathroom or something, the Dunkin' Donuts, and then snuck out the medical tent and then cheated, and everybody caught her, and now she's synonymous with cheating in sports. And boy, the more research I do on this topic, the worse it gets. I found fishing cheaters. Fishing! That's right. At the Lake Erie Walleye Trail Championships on the shores of Lake Erie on Saturday, yes, that's where they would be, Chase Kaminsky and Jake Runyon were found to have loaded the bellies of their fish with weights so they could be named Team of the Year and win $30,000 in prizes. They stacked the bellies of the fish. Boy, were you also underwhelmed to hear that the grand prize for fishing is $30,000? There's cheating in poker, but I don't understand it or care to understand it. Hans Niemann, that's another name that might, you know, ring some bells. That guy got caught. Just Google Hans Niemann beads, and if you catch my drift, yeah. Russia cheated a lot in the Olympics. Also, they, you know, did a lot of steroids. I don't want to give Russia too much spotlight, but yeah, 43 medals were stripped, so that's not nothing. This also just happened while I was editing, so yeah, they do it a lot. Hey, in 1983, Luis Restrepo took the padding out of his gloves, that way it would have more impact on his opponent, thus inferring more damage, which, you know, won him the fight, but it also kind of dinged up his opponent, you know, long term. And not a great look how that story ended, but the point is that the dude cheated, so what? People cheat in boxing too? No, what? I had to talk about that, right? What about Tim Donahue? Tim Donnie, is that his name? Tim Donnie. Dude, you know, took a lot of money and gambled on games that he was officiating.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app.
And affected the outcome of some important games. Not great. And that is cheating. That's cheating for sure. Jonte Porter's also a cheater, but like, I mean, whatever. He was only cheating himself. Straight up. Boy, I don't want to over talk about this, but I hope that one or two of these has stood out enough for you to Google them. Truth be told, this was going to be just a segment in another video I had, but I had so much fun just going through cheaters that I just had to. And I guess I gotta shout out my last favorite cheater in all this. Jump scare. I forgot about Tiger Woods. Shout out you, girly. I don't know how to end this video. Keep balling out of control, guys. I love talking about funny stories. You know what? I don't even want to discourage cheating anymore. This is all too interesting and too funny. If you can find a way to hook the system and not get caught for it, boy, think about how many cheaters haven't been caught. The video is called A Love Letter to Cheaters. What does that mean? Well, it's not exactly romanticizing cheaters, it's more demonizing how these leagues kind of sweep it under the rug. The Astros weren't stripped of their titles. The Patriots weren't stripped of their titles. All of these cheaters, especially in organized team sports with a big lot of money behind them, nothing really happens from cheating. My point is to say that this video kind of matters. We need to have dialogues about sports history or else we're going to forget it. And I know that forgetting sports isn't like the end of the world, but it's also annoying that these leagues just defer all blame onto the teams and the subject of the cheating and take zero for themselves, because the NFL would rather look good than actually have integrity. You know what I mean? It's the same reason why you can't review a pass interference penalty. That's the most obvious thing ever. You can't review, like, why can't you review flags? It's not that the NFL doesn't think it's a good idea. They just don't want to look bad. They don't want to look dumb. That's the whole whole thing. And I know a lot of these companies and teams and players don't want to look dumb, and that's their whole shtick. But like, if you're not honest with your consumers, especially as something as innocent and wholesome as a sports league, then what are we doing? Just be honest, be transparent, talk about the things that happened, recognize them, and fix them. It's not the end of the world that people cheat. People cheat in everything. People cheat in relationships. People cheat on tests. I've cheated on tests. Not recently, of course, but in high school. And you know what happened? Nothing. I got a 0 on a quiz, and then I just passed the class. I'm not saying that my school should have expelled me. I'm not saying the Astros should get relegated. I'm not saying that Tom Brady's not the greatest, but I am saying that if we don't recognize what happened, fuck, is that a waste? God.